How you guys doing? Josh and Big Rich here with Ohio Fish Rescue. As you can see, the work never stops around here. But today we're going to be talking about the koi and what we're planning on doing with them, what we're been doing around the rescue for them. And you guys just come along for the ride. So as you can see, my dad's over there. He's putting together temporary filtration and whatnot. We have this 1,000-gallon tote right here filled with nothing but chlorine water because we do a 1,000-gallon water change on the koi each day, so they have, you know, a lot of good water. Now mind you, we've also beefed up the filtration. Wait a minute, you guys didn't see any of this, but you can see all the large koi are in here. Yes, it was overstocked a bit. So we went ahead and we took out majority of all the small koi. There's probably about 90 or so in here now. And we keep taking out smaller ones. We've beefed up the filtration on here so it has its original filtration. It has its Fluval FX4. And it also has all these sponge filters. Well, what my dad just came up with, you can see all the different beautiful koi, the colors, the sizes. There is a lot in there, but they all huddle up and they hide beneath that black barrel.
What we're trying to do is, we had too many koi come in too fast and too once, so we overpowered the filtration that was on here. So the water started turning to ammonia. Now we had to bring some koi over here onto the filtration that was here, and we added new filtration to start seeding. We had to take off the bio load on here, plus add more filtration on here. You can see we added 2 FX5s down there, and you know, we've got that wet dry filtration and this one back here. So we can't have ammonia building up in the water, especially on koi. So we're trying to fight and combat that right now. And in the middle of doing all this, Josh decides this is another good video opportunity.
All right, so what we did over here, you can see we have this 4,000 gallon per hour. That's a 4,000, right?
Yeah.
That's
no,
a Jabo.
That's a Jabo 1800. So I think that is the 4,000, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a 150 watt DC powered pump. We have it coming down from 2 inch to 1.5 inches. So yes, that probably does, you know, restrict it a bit. But here you can see, here's the sputter bar on it. It is made out of PVC with just a bunch of holes drilled. And then the barrel is just filled with nothing but bio balls. So what we did, we took some pre-seeded bio balls from our system inside, sprinkled them over the top, and now those ones are going to help seed the ones below, as well as the water in the koi tank, help get these ones going. And we went ahead and just replaced the ones on our system, because that really won't affect anything. So that left a lot of fish out of this 2,000 gallon quarantine here. As you said, he's got this big sump going. We've got that green box going. We've got this Ultimate 10,000 going, being pumped over to that side. And then we also had 2 fully seeded Fluval FX6s that we went ahead and added on here. You can see now he is sitting here doing the water change on these koi. We just filled that up, so we're in the middle of a water change here. That's why the water's too low. And you guys have been asking why we're not filling this up too high. Well, yes, it's because koi like to jump, and we're not going to take that risk. So we went ahead and we don't fill it all the way, and we don't have to have an ugly contraption like this on here. So we could net it, but then again, we're in here all the time, so we figured just keeping it down lower would be the easiest. Now you can see all the koi in here. Look at that beauty. Oh my God, he is just awesome. Now mind you, we still do have all the SHAQ koi fry. They're still growing out. You guys keep asking for updates. We gave you one about a couple weeks ago, and there's not really much to update on them. They're slow growers. There's a few in there that are getting large, but the next feat is these guys right here. So we are going to go ahead and get them in their pond, which we are getting ready to break ground on. So we just had a call from Mr. Greg Whitstock himself, and we came up with a plan. We are going to be doing all of the digging and whatnot. We're going to go ahead and lay the liner and Greg is sending Ed Bailu out to go ahead and do all of the wetland filtration for the pond. So that will be coming here soon. So along with doing, you know, daily water changes on them at a large volume, we added more filtration and took off a good portion of the bio load here. So these guys should be a lot more carefree and not as stressed. We want to go ahead and try and make these guys' life easy as possible until they get put in the pond. But this is also dual purpose. All this filtration we've had sitting around the rescue not being used. As soon as we get that pond up and going, that means we can go ahead and stick them straight in. We'll have all of these barrels filled with bio balls up and going and pre-seeded with bacteria. Now if you guys walk over here, I have a few more barrels that we are going to set up here in the next few days or so. There's another barrel out back, but this is just another 55-gallon drum filled with bio balls. I have more of them spreader bars, so we'll just put another 4,000 gallon per hour pump on it and pump what we can through it. It'll be starting to get seeded with bacteria on the koi, and then we can go ahead and move them around wherever we might need them, whether we need them for the Bellagio's or on the main system. We need them on the koi pond. It'll be all good to go. And then of course we have the koi in the back of the fish room. So let me go ahead and take a walk in there and I'll show you what's left in there. So as we walk in, you can see the Bellagio's are nice and clear. We still have the temporary filtration on them because we have other things that take precedence over getting these on the system. It doesn't really bother me that much having this temporary filtration here. We will get to it and we will hook these onto our system. But as you can see, keep walking through, you know, all the tanks are looking good as always. We actually just got the paint in from International Paint to go ahead and fiberglass this and repaint it before we put all the gravel in. So that's going to be coming up here probably next week. And if you come out here, you guys get a little bit of a treat while I'm walking in here. You can see all this driftwood that's now floating in the pond. There's two big pieces right there that are super cool, that are sinking relatively fast. And so these guys are kind of too. So we had a kind person come over and they dropped off all this driftwood that they pulled out and cleaned for us and cut and made it all awesome. And they donated it to us, so thank you very much for that. Now the koi in here, there is a couple butterflies left here. Once the pond is good to go, we're gonna go ahead and move these guys out there. They're fine where they're at now. I don't want to overload them systems more with more koi, so they're gonna stay here until the pond is done, and then they will be moved outside. Now I'm sure there are a few of these that we're not gonna put in the pond out back. They might be rehomed, or who knows what's gonna happen, because we do have a lot of koi that we've been collecting over the years. How long would you say Mom's been collecting koi, Dad?
Ever since this was built, last year and a half ago.
So there you go. So for the last year and a half, my mom's been collecting her koi. So I know there's probably too many out there that they're not gonna want all of them in that pond. So who knows, we might have another big event where we give out some koi.
I was just gonna say that. What we'll do is when we get that pond done and we start putting them in there, we'll hand pick everyone that we want to put into that pond. And there's any in there that we have doubles, triples of, stuff that we didn't want, stuff like that. Mostly we're going to keep all the butterfly and all the big ones. So the rest we can then do a giveaway.
There we go. So while I have you in here, I told you we got the International Paint in, and that means we can get the 1000 and the 700 up and going. And those will pretty much be simultaneously. But there's been a lot of you guys asking about these frontosa and why did you go from a 265 to a 350, yada yada yada, all the, you know, negative Nancy comments. Well guys, these are our fish now. We took them from a 265 and put them into a 350 gallon with a much larger footprint. This is only 20 inches tall. It's 9 foot long and 30 inches from front to back, as opposed to 6 foot long and, you know, 24 inches wide, 30 inches tall, with a lot of rock in here. So there is more square footage for them to swim. But, you know, if you guys would just have a little bit of faith in us, we do have bigger plans for the frontosa. Now, I'm not going to tell you that because, you know, I don't want to spoil everything. And that'll be a good video opportunity for all of our viewers. So as I'm out here, you can get the last look at this driftwood. We've got them 2 large pieces and all that spider looking wood out there, which we have plans of sinking some in here and sinking some in different tanks that don't have decorations. We're just using the pond as our means to go ahead and float this because it has the most room and it's really not bothering us in there. And I guarantee you the fish like it, but a few have scraped themselves on it. Alrighty, so now that you guys are up to date on what we're doing with this stuff here, and you guys can rest a little more easily about these koi. They are still being drained down, so we are just about ready to start filling them back up with water. And you can see they always love water change time. They're super active. Sorry, my pumps are a bit loud, but there are some gorgeous koi in here. Of course, we've got Big Albert or Fat Albert right there and all of his cousins. And you can just see there's a lot of big gorgeous koi that are going to be in that pond out back. So we're going to go ahead and finish up our water changes here at the rescue. And we're going to button these tanks back up. So that means I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you guys want to see more crazy adventures with the Ohio Fish Rescue, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay fishy, my friend.